everyone, Kathy the Vegan Prepper here, and it is time for my latest Azure haul. Let's go ahead and get into it. Vegan Prepper. Vegan Prepper. So here is an overview of everything, which you'll be able to see really fast because it's a very small haul. This is just sort of restocking some stuff and stocking up on a couple of things, but mainly just a restock of just kind of the things that we normally eat and use. It's not a very giant, impressive haul by any means. It's just kind of like normal grocery shopping. So let's go ahead and just sort of look at all the things and I guess give any kind of tips that come up. So this is a 25-pound bag of pearl barley. Pearl barley is great because this is the type of barley that will store for about 20 years as long as you're storing it correctly in a good temperature, oxygen and light-free environment. And so it'll store for a very long time. We love barley. It's super hearty and just great. And we love putting it in soups and stews and all of that. In fact, I have a recipe for a lentil barley soup that we eat all the time. And I've seen, if you watch the channel, you've seen it a million times. We like what we like. So I will link that recipe down below. It's an instant pot recipe. It's amazing. It uses red lentils and barley, just in case you'd like something to use some pearl barley for. But yeah, this is Mr. Vegan Prepper's like favorite thing to add to soups. And that is a restock. Our pearl barley bucket is almost empty. And so I'm just buying this to refill the bucket once it is empty. And so we got another 5-pound bag of coconut sugar. I'm pretty much out of my coconut sugar. And so I just needed to refill. I really do love coconut sugar. It's got a really wonderful, almost caramel flavor to it. It is not as sweet as regular sugar. And apparently it doesn't have as high of a glycemic index. And so, I mean, sugar is still sugar. I'm not trying to say like, you know, this is some holy grail solution for people to have as much sugar as they want if they shouldn't be having very much sugar. But I still feel like amongst, you know, processed sugars, this is probably a pretty good choice. And so I do like to have it on hand. Like I said, I just love the kind of caramely taste that it gives to stuff. And so I like to have that on hand. Here is a 5-pound bag of cacao powder. I am a little sad. I had to buy it from Costco or from Azure Standard. Again, as much as I love Azure Standard, I will say for the cocoa powder specifically, or the cacao powder, I do prefer the one that Costco sells, but Costco has been out for kind of a really long time, and I'm almost down to the very end of my cacao powder. It is cacao. I'm going to say cocoa. If I say cocoa, I mean cacao. I'm down to the end of my cacao powder almost, and I just need to buy more before I run out. So we bake everything from whatever, all the things that require cacao powder, our homemade hot chocolate mix, brownies, whatever, cookies, chocolate, anything. Turning frozen bananas into chocolate ice cream, cacao powder. So yeah, we use it for a lot of things that we really love. And so I just need to have that on hand. As another note, as far as long-term storage, prepping type considerations, cacao powder specifically, I believe cocoa powder as well, will store almost indefinitely. So that is a good thing to have on hand as kind of a big stockpile. Again, in a responsible environment away from heat, light, and excess humidity, it should last you a really long time. And so this is one that you can kind of stock up on and not really feel guilty about it. It's not going to go bad before you get to it, I guess is the point. Let me come back over here. This was a stock up. I was very excited to find that last month, actually, Azure came out with their own organic canned corn. I cannot seem to find organic canned corn in any store that I go to locally. So this was a major find. I'm also super excited to have it because Costco has been out of their frozen corn, which is what I have been buying kind of in lieu of a canned corn. So their frozen corn has been out for a very long time. I also feel like the pricing on these cans of organic corn is extremely reasonable. And so I got 2 flats. So all of that is organic canned corn. It's just sort of starting my little stash of organic canned corn for all of our many various uses. And for anybody who's watching this who might think this seems like a lot. Well, for one, welcome to the Prepperverse. We're happy to have you. But For two, it's not necessarily a prepping thing. That's kind of like what I find in my life, even though I do believe in being prepared for emergencies. Let me talk to you for a second. Even though I believe in being prepared for emergencies, a lot of what I'm doing is not, I'm not thinking of like the end of the world. I'm not thinking of doomsday. I'm thinking of like making sure that I have enough on hand for, especially lately now, we're seeing kind of the reality of the fact that stores are out of things for like months on end, like my cacao powder, like my corn. So Azure, even though I have seen some kind of, I don't know where it's coming from, but I've been seeing some kind of negativity towards Azure lately. And I don't know if it's specifically because they're getting so popular that now people are trying to get a bunch of views by criticizing them. That, you know, things like, you know, they're not really that much cheaper and they're not really that much better or whatever. So everything is like all things kind of in balance and all things kind of like, obviously I don't only shop exclusively with Azure. I shop with Costco too and other local stores. But I am really grateful that Azure exists so that I know that I can order things from them when my local store is out of something. And so being able to stock up and get quite a lot to make sure that we have enough on hand as stores keep being out of the things that we normally buy, I so appreciate this. And so that is one thing that I really appreciate Azure for. And then things like these really large bags of dry goods that you can't find the same variety of dry goods as you can at Azure. And so I love, everything has its pluses and its minuses. Even Azure has some minuses, but overall I'm very grateful for Azure. I just want to throw that in there. But yeah, sorry, if you think that this is a lot, also be keeping in mind that Azure is something that you shop from only once a month. And so actually lately I haven't even been doing it once a month. I've been doing it more like once every 2 months. And so it might look like a lot, but when you think of it, like, I don't know, over the course of a few months or what, like if I use 2 cans a week, in various meals, which is probably not at all an unreasonable thought, then I would probably be going through this in what, 3 months? So I don't know. It's not like that huge of an amount. So anyway, regardless, moving on. Sorry for the tangent. I can't help myself. I'm sorry. And so also we got 3 of these unsweetened vanilla bean cashew milk yogurts. These are Adam's like favorite yogurt. And then he has quit sugar completely. Like added sugar, not fruit sugar. He eats fruit and things like that, but he has quit all added sugar. And so he really appreciates having this with some like no sugar added granola that we've been finding, like date sweetened granolas and things like that he's been eating like for breakfast or whatever. He likes yogurt a lot. So I like to keep him supplied with the things that he likes. And also I've got a flat of 6 of the organic orange juice from Lakewood. We just really love this orange juice. It's delicious. It is definitely pricey. We do use it sometimes. It's got some good vitamin C in it. It's good to have on hand when people are kind of sick, and it's a little thing that perks you up. The other thing I like to do is to order juices specifically in summer. They come off of the truck cold. And so sometimes what ends up happening is we will bust into one of these and drink it like on the way home because we are so hot. We always bring water, but there's something about having juice that like seems to perk you up a little faster than water, probably because of the natural sugars. I like it too because there is no added sugar in this, but obviously it's still high sugar. It's still technically better to eat the orange or whatever, but you know, it's nice to have orange juice on hand for some things. I like to also freeze it in cubes and then have it for making things like an orange, like, you know, like an orange chicken type sauce, but obviously we're using it with like tofu or tempeh or whatever, and things like that to have it as a flavoring for salad dressings and stuff. So I really like to have that on hand. We do appreciate our orange juice. Excuse me. And then the final thing that I got this time around was a flat of 6 sun butter cups, or not sun butter cups, sun butter, just organic, unsweetened, unsalted sun butter, just totally all natural. Although one of them appears to have burst. It really looks like it came from inside of this, doesn't it? I'm having a hard time because I can't tell where any seal, like the seal inside seems still totally intact. So I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do, because it's possible maybe that happened when it got filled and then it still got sealed. You know what I'm saying? So I'm still not sure what I'm going to do about that. I will look at it more carefully later And if I think it did bust open, then I will probably just contact Azure and they'll probably give me a credit towards, you know, next month. They're really great about stuff like that. If something happens and you call them, typically it's not really any questions asked except for like logistical type questions. And so then I can get that replaced essentially via a credit usually for next month. But yeah, that's everything. And so, oh yeah, this is just replacing, we just use a lot of sun butter in the house. And so it's time to buy our next set. And so obviously it's just, like I said, it's just kind of boring, like normal grocery shopping, stocking type stuff. And so you might be wondering if you have watched the hauls before though, about the giveaway. And so I did get this, I think in my last Azure haul. And these are delicious. I love them. Lion's mane in particular is also very good for your brain, for making you feel better. I think that beginning to incorporate a lot of lion's mane into my day and into my life has made a major difference in some symptoms of like overwhelm and anxiety that I was feeling. The thing about it, I wish that we were able to talk about these things more. Here, I'll talk to you again face to face. I wish we were able to talk about these things more in society. I don't know why there's so much of a stigma attached to these things. It's not like, I don't know, there's a stigma. So we don't have to talk about all that. We don't have to try to fix the world. I'm just trying to give you some tea. And so really, honestly though, it's something to note and something to be aware of, that so many times those feelings, those kind of mental health issue type feelings are based in physical things in our bodies. Like our brain is also a physical organ, right? And so when you have something physical that can help you kind of uplift and feel better, I think that that's fantastic. And it just really helps with cognitive function and whatnot. And so personally, I've seen such a huge difference since I've started supplementing with lion's mane specifically. But then also I'm drinking lion's mane in my tea. I add, like when I mentioned my hot chocolate mix, I like to add a little scoop of a mushroom mix to my cup when I have it, or even like to my decaf in the morning. If I have some decaf, I put some mushroom stuff in there with lion's mane powder in there. And I just, like I said, over these last couple months of consistently doing that, I feel like I've been noticing a huge difference. Just in general feelings of anxiety and just feeling like I'm more in control and more able to deal with things when they rise up. So anyway, details have been flashing on the screen as I've been talking. And so that's how you enter the giveaway. And this is just my gift to you, especially during these crazy times. Look into lion's mane. Look into lemon balm. Lemon balm is another fantastic thing for cognitive function and relieving of stress and anxiety, especially if you find looking at lion's mane that stuff is kind of too expensive that way. Look for lemon balm too. That can also be a really great help. So anyway, I just hope everybody can have the best, most wonderful life that they can. Anyway, and I guess that's all. So hopefully you enjoyed that. And as always, I hope the rest of your day is good and your life stays wonderful. I need to go water my garden now. It's 110 degrees. Good times. I'm gonna get an umbrella. I'm drinking a lot of water before I head out. And then the whole time I'm out there, I'm breathing only through my nose. I've talked about it in a couple of videos, but it's really important in extreme heat. If you can breathe only through your nose, it helps you not lose your water as quick. So that's just another little helpful tip right before I leave. Anyway, I guess I'll see you guys later. Bye.